Learn podcast, hosted by Yulia and Ina, friends, colleagues, passionate teachers and learners. In this series of cozy talks with a cup of tea or coffee, we talk about how we live and learn, move countries, adapt to change and mentalities, encourage and teach. While polishing our own understanding of learnability, we find support in the 4 pillars of Live and Learn philosophy, which include growth mindset, expat life, language acquisition, and skills development. Join us, enjoy, live and learn. So it's time to live and learn, and it's time to relax and detox.
A well-deserved vacation. You know, I was writing to everybody starting from June, I think. Have a great summer and a well-deserved vacation. So that was my closing remark to every and each letter that I wrote, trying to wish a person an opportunity, a time, to breathe out, relax, and enjoy.
Yeah, then there is this concept of deserving something. Yeah, do this, relax because you've worked hard. And I think this concept has been so, harmful to many of us in the world of work, because we feel we only can relax and have good time after we have worked hard. Don't you think it hurts and can be harmful?
I think there are different people, different situations, different work environments, different family situations where every case is individual. Just a third of all the working people actually made a vacation happen this year. That means 60% of people didn't have their vacation in 2021 and are not planning or not able to afford one or not able to stop their work, which is obviously harmful. And that's why the mental health issues, conferences, problems are on its peak. And that's why many corporates are making their move to introduce the mental health days and to actually make all the situations so that their workers actually go on a vacation. So I know that in June, when there were the mental health days and a lot of conferences, all the HRs went to those world level congress, and obviously they were shocked by the numbers and statistics, the arguments that these psychologists and researchers are saying that they started introducing those weeks. So I know companies who had a week of mental week. That was a funny joke, not so funny joke. But half of the company went for a holiday 1 week, half of the company went on a holiday another week, or within 1 week the whole company stopped and everybody set a reminder, everybody said, we are out. And we're talking about IT, we're talking about banks, we're talking about fintech. So of course not every company can afford this, but losing people to mental health would be even more devastating. This is an agenda this year. Everybody overworked, everybody was on the verge of their capacities, on their physical, psychological, and mental capabilities, to survive. And very few actually managed to thrive through the pandemic years. Again, there is a research on thriving and surviving, and this is longitudinal research, and you can see every year, so what are the function there. It is alarming. Much more people are striving, much more people are surviving rather than thriving. This concept can be harmful, the one that you asked me, right? In the normal. When we are in the new normal and we are trying to adapt and understand that most probably this is the situation that will continue with the new pandemics, with the new lockdowns and so on. So it depends on how well did we adapt and change our behaviors so that we could probably have healthier and more respectful working time, living time, learning time, sleeping time, and on and on.
The way I hear it from everything you said, if I was to hold content analysis of what you were mentioning, the keywords would be strive, thrive, survive, afford, efficiency. And it is devastating to think of the life at work as well in these terms. On the contrary, when you were finishing to answer my question and started using words like live, enjoy, live, learn, maybe you did not mention enjoy, I added it because I feel this as one of the grounds of living healthily and working healthily. It gives hope. And this is what we need as people in the world of work, as people in corporate world, and as people who somehow traditionally divide our living time into life and work. We've already discussed this many times, mentioning as well that, okay, guys, it would be nice if we tried to build our careers around what we enjoy doing. That would be much
healthier.
Much healthier. We would be much more capable to do lots of things. We would need not so much rest as we understand it now. Rest as lots of people who I communicate with think of living the day through till the evening in search of time to relax, living the week through in search of or waiting for, longing for the weekend in order to enjoy these 2 days or 1 day. Depends on what your working week is, as well as waiting for the vacation time in order to finally enjoy life. And this is what I hear and perceive as harmful, this building working day, week, year as something hard, as opposed to something relaxing as the vacation time or the weekend, instead of enjoying our working life as well as we are enjoying our time away from work. Too much stress in the world of work and during the time of work, and too much expectation towards the vacation time when we can finally not be doing what we are so stressed about.
You started with a nice thing that if we had an opportunity to choose what we love doing, we have the opportunity, but how many people actually do choose to make something that they love doing their job related or job workplace, right?
That's what makes me feel really sad about all that concept of working hard in order to deserve your free time. Yeah.
What I'm here is the taking responsibility for your choices and taking an opportunity to enjoy. A lot of people are scared to enjoy because otherwise, well, that's a hobby. That's not a profession.
What do you do as a professional? What do you do for work? How do you earn your living? And there is still this phrase, to earn your living. Like, well, I teach online and I do a podcast and whatever else. Interesting. Wow, that's really fun. But what do you do for work?
Apart from taking responsibility and taking your choice and defending your choice as a worthy activity, as a bread-winning activity, or as our friend says, bread, butter, and caviar winning activity. Recently, in one of the Facebook groups about teaching, there was a meme or the conversation starter. Just imagine what your life could be if you had chosen your childhood dream. 7,000 commentaries of people saying that they wanted to become scientists, they wanted to become doctors, they wanted to become policemen, they wanted to become firemen, they wanted to become firewoman, they wanted to become a pilot, and they wanted to become Olympic champion, they wanted to become a tram driver, they wanted to become a safeguard, something like this. 7,000 commentaries, what their life would be, and discussions, and so on and so on. Everybody says, oh, that would be such a great thing. That was heartbreaking. I just put 2 words into that thread. I just wrote, I did. And I was shocked that several people who liked this post were the people who knew me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 7 years ago. So those people who witnessed my life through, they just confirmed that this is possible by putting their heart like or something. I even had one of those friends who just wrote me a message and said, oh, that was harsh. Said, no, I really hope that would be leading by example, or, a role that it is possible. It's not about boasting, it's about showing that it is possible.
To believe that choosing a career should be something different from what you do in your free time, that it should be something hard to do because you need to earn a living. These are all the things related to a paradigm of industrial age, I believe, or even earlier. But most connected to the industrial age, when if you were lucky to have a job, it was hard and you had to win your bread and you had to break your back literally in order to bring your bread home. But times have changed, and the paradigm that we tend to drag generation after generation, even if it's no longer applicable, it's not adequate, it's harmful again. Still, because our great-grandparents had to work so hard, we aren't, as a generation even, we aren't yet ready to accept that we don't have to do the way they did. Just because they suffered and struggled and worked so hard does not mean we have to.
They suffered enough, maybe for us as well. I definitely can say that my grandparents who survived the war, out of their siblings who didn't, and reconstructed the country after it, they actually struggled enough for several generations ahead. They put their lives so that their kids go to university and get a bachelor's degree, and their grandkid went to university and get a PhD degree, so that we do not need to suffer physical work or suffer those conditions, a post-war situation or famine or Holodomor, just because they did. Because they did, we don't have to.
Exactly so. I also feel it like that. It would be a great tribute to the previous generations if we stop doing what is no longer necessary, thanks to what they did.
And thanks to Maslow, who actually put a good premise for showing that, there are some higher aims to target for.
And then we make another mistake on that way up the Maslow pyramid. Somewhere on this way, we take our smartphone and we start scrolling. Which need does it cover, I wonder?
Yeah, and then we need digital detox after doing that. Yeah, because we somehow feel this is a way of connecting with others, and that really does cover the need or satisfy the need of connecting, of connection, of belonging to a group. But at some point, there is this shift
When you need to disconnect file.
and you don't disconnect from people. You should just disconnect from the gadget because it no longer satisfies the need of connection. It just stops serving this function. And you find yourself scrolling without really connecting.
The way I see digital detox and the way I'm looking for my digital detox occasion is disconnecting from media but connecting to the nature. For me, this is a perfect way to escape. Yes, I do agree that this is a word that I would be using. Smooth, respectful, prepared, and managed way to do the me time, me with my family and me with my nature. I want the me downtime with mountains, with the sea, with the food, with the wine, with the volleyball, and everything that is something that I was deprived from for the last year and a half. However, I need to say that I was doing the digital detox even before it was fancy. So last year we did a digital detox together, and we've been doing digital detox on Sundays as well. Not because I want to disconnect from people, not because I want to disconnect from media, but because I want to be fully present and fully connected to the forest, to the lake, to the sunshine, to the person I love, and to the place I want to discover. Not to disconnect from, but to fully connect to. And if you think of it from this perspective, then it gives mindfulness, awareness, respect, and concentration, rather than being detached.
This is what people who practice Judaism practice weekly on a Friday night and on Saturday. On the day of Shabbat, they don't use gadgets at all. Not only those modern, fancy, small, hand-sized things, but also television, but also elevators. Nothing where you can press the button and make it work. But it does not mean people are disconnected. On the contrary, the idea of practicing Shabbat nowadays is to stay connected with your family, to stay connected with your values, to practice the values, and to put what you don't have time to do during the working week into action. Just being with the people you love. Everything you said is practiced as a weekly ritual on Shabbat. When people ask someone who practices Shabbat, for example, how can you not use a gadget the whole day? It's 25 hours of not scrolling something, of not pressing the buttons, of not watching cartoons when kids are concerned. Practicing families say, well, it's not a problem. We are together, we talk, we eat. What we had cooked before, we don't cook anymore. We spend time together and no one is bored. No one is ever bored. You don't even have this need to take a gadget because you have everyone and everything you need at hand.
What's your comment to that? The digital detox is coming from the Judaism practices.
I would say digital detox comes from being aware about your real needs. And you don't need to detox if you're aware of what you really need. If you need to be connected, you can be connected. You don't need your gadgets for doing that. And whatever practice, religion, tradition practices this or applies this is a healthy way to live.
Yeah, you have the yoga retreats, you have the going to monasteries or going somewhere to the mountains. It's been there since ever, I believe. The question is why? It's always about this axiology. Why is this happening? What's the moral? What's the ethics behind? If you can't give yourself a meaningful answer why you're doing, then you're just living your own values. So then there is a point to learn what kind of values do you have and live by practicing them. So the only thing we can say is just live and learn.
Live and learn.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you share Live and Learn philosophy, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on all the major social media, comment, and spread the word about this podcast so that more people could get their weekly portion of growth mindset content. Live and learn.